to the Iranian protesters, which means if you don't follow up and you don't help, and I would not preclude the fact that people have been helping behind the scenes in pretty serious ways here, but if you don't help, I think part of what plays into this is his own reputation. He has cultivated a bit of a madman theory that he will act in these situations, and if he doesn't, I think he will take into account what that would do for his threat credibility.
Yeah, I mean, ask Soleimani. Well, and the Iran nuclear program.
Well, and look, the problem is, though, if the goal is to support the protesters and ultimately get a change in regime, I do not think that American military action is the way to do that. Even with occupation and hundreds of thousands of ground troops in a place like Iraq or Afghanistan, we have seen how hard it is to force a democratic transition onto a country coming out of authoritarianism. So I think behind the scenes, helping get the internet back up, helping Iranians get some of this information out of the country, there are quiet ways that the U.S. and Israel have done for many years to weaken this regime. But the best look, once a regime has to use such a level of violence, the Iranian regime has never had to, in the last couple decades, quite frankly, kill so many protesters to stay in power. That is not a good sign for the long-term longevity. Now, can the U.S. make this happen with an airstrike that guarantees an outcome we would be happy with? There is no evidence in history. There's certainly no evidence we've ever seen that that would be the case. So the best thing we can do is support the protesters quietly, continue to weaken the Iranian regime, and not do things that cause the Iranian people to rally around the flag, like, I don't know, take more military strikes on their country.
Well, as you said, probably a lot of things happening behind the scenes, cyber attacks, all kinds of things,
there's
talk
also
of Starlink into the country.
There's also evidence that not acting militarily and not backing up threats leads to 10 to 15 more years of brutality from said regimes in those places, although it is obviously not a silver bullet to strike.
Yeah, it's not. It's not an easy call, and that's why the commander-in-chief has the toughest job in the world. So let's talk about Greenland, which he's very interested in. Here are some headlines in juxtaposition for you. The Atlantic says Trump is risking a global catastrophe. His irrational fixation on Greenland could lead to widespread conflict. An opinion piece over at FoxNews.com says Trump knows good real estate, and he knows Greenland's value to national security. Trump has lit a bonfire under Denmark and NATO to spur much-needed progress to counter Russia and China. And Josh, could that be the end game here? Let's beef up forces, let's get more serious, or do you think he actually wants that for the U.S.?
No, I think he wants it for the U.S., and that's causing a rupture with our European allies in a way that could have very serious long-term consequences. It also doesn't have a whole lot of public support in the United States. There was a poll by Quinnipiac that came out this week. Less than 10% of Americans want us to use any kind of military action to get Greenland for the United States. There is a diplomatic way to have Denmark offer more territory to help with our national security needs, but I don't think we've been looking to go in that direction.